Yeah, let me know when you can hear me well because I can hear you.
I got that.
Say again.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, bet. So Hassan, um, I'm gonna be honest. First and foremost, I'm actually kind of I'm saddened that it went this way. I don't know if you planned for it to go this way.
Amani, I'm live.
I'm saddened that everything went this way because I think we all had a great conversation. Everybody was, again, everybody had their own position, own platform, own opinion, and we all try to get it in. Of course, it's a lot of voices, and we are all loud. But we did the podcast, and I felt like everything was good because everybody left, and everybody left in peace. Where did all this stuff go left, my brother?
All right, so somebody sent me a link on Clubhouse prior to the one that we listening to right now, and Wack was talking to the people in Clubhouse, and he was telling them that, yo, I pressed that nigga. I pressed that nigga. And I was like, yeah, nigga, you got fucked in your ass. And I'm like, hold up. That nigga wasn't talking to me like that when we was face to face. He had gave me 1,000 hugs and we had good conversation. So how you get on Clubhouse and start telling niggas you was disrespecting me? So that's the vibe. When we left, when we left, after it was all over, he was talking about helping me start my clothing line. I thought we all had a good time. He gets to Clubhouse and he telling dudes that he was pressing me. And then when he sat up there and said, yeah, nigga, I said, you got fucked in the ass. I said, yo, you didn't say that to me. And see, one thing about Wack is a liar and a manipulator because before we started the podcast and it's on camera, we had a conversation about what he did to Gilly and Wallow. And he was like, yeah, I got to ask you. He asked me ahead of time, could I ask you about the Bambaataa thing? And I said, yeah. So when he gets to Clubhouse, he making it seem like he was just violating me and pressing me. But when you look at all the footage behind the scenes, and you was there, so I don't have to tell you, this nigga was my best friend. So how you get to Clubhouse and start telling nigga, I said that nigga got fucked in his ass and he ain't do nothing. Like what?
Yeah,
Like first and foremost, man, my whole thing is like this. As far as the conversation, it didn't go the way that I wanted to go because he kept cutting off and intervening in everything I was saying. But at the same time, I understand this is debate. So that wasn't the problem. My frustration came from I felt like the conversation was just immature. You
so
see what I'm saying?
no,
But I understand
I
Tekashi.
I think that's where you and him start to differ, right? Because you're right. Honestly, I seen y'all having good conversation before everything started. I think once the conversation started, and I was trying to read the energy a little bit, and maybe I think in his interpretation, once you started because I ain't gonna your opinion, and correct me if I'm wrong. You were like, yo, hey, listen, 6ix9ine, I seen you go down a route. My job here is to try to see if we could make sure you don't go down the same route, and especially don't bring other kids down that same route with you. And you were coming at it that angle, and I don't know if that's the moment that Wack is just like, man, this thing is just talking bullshit. He's the dude's a rapper. Let him do what a rapper does in terms of I don't know, getting attention, whatever the case is. You know what I mean? And I think in Wack's mind, he was throwing shots subliminally. I didn't think it was aggressive, you know, but I think he was looking at it like, nah, he was shutting you
No,
down.
I'm gonna tell you what it was. Here's what it was. When you sat up there and you said in the hallway, when you sat at the table, you said it a few times. You even said Hassan Campbell is. You said he's the wild card.
I
He
said
didn't
that. You're
like
right.
that. Then you said Hassan is going to be the greatest YouTuber ever.
I don't know if I
Now,
said that, but
while we
okay.
sitting at the table, right? We sitting at the table. He's starting to read them young boys' energy. I transformed the energy in the whole room, and they started talking about they not thugs anymore, they grown men, and they started speaking positive. He didn't like the glow that I had in the room because I outshined him. Wack in his ego feels like he's bigger than me, but right now he has a podcast. I mean, he has a YouTube page. I have a YouTube page. Video for video, I would kill him, even with celebrity guests on there, because when nobody wants to hear Wack talk by himself or with Rick or whatever his name is, he can't fuck with me. So his ego is starting to kick in. Even though he's sitting up there talking about nobody knows you. When I came to Clubhouse and came into that room with FBG Duck Mother, they sent for me. He sent for me. He knew who I was. Wack forgot that he said that we was going to do a podcast together, me and him. And we had a lot of conversations. Wack just didn't realize that everybody that Wack talks about, he talks about them so bad and so greasy. I never trusted him. Not even a bit of them.
Wait, what do you mean though? Because we then get like some leaked footage or like leaked audio, whatever, and I don't know, like everything. Like this is my honest outlook from it, right? I look at Wack and I say this. I'm like, well, Wack, see, I'm not a street dude, right? So like, if Wack went on Clubhouse and was like, man, yo, we had Akademiks in there like shook, I might say like, yo, that's not true, but I'm not gonna be like, yo, Wack, fuck you, you get me? But that's just my demeanor. Now, I think what he said when it came to you obviously triggers you to be like, yo, bro, that's just not, what happened, because I didn't feel that way. But how did it get from there to the leaked audio, and why did you feel you have to put that out? Because now that's the big subject of conversation.
Because what you got to understand is when this dude is sitting up there and he's telling people on the internet that he pressed me, like first and foremost, the dudes that I had with me, the ones you seen inside the room, it was at least about 9 of us in the room. There was another 10 outside because I move smart. I understand the streets. So now when you understand...
Wait, hold on. Wait. Let me stop you right there. I want to ask you because I noticed it was different how you pulled up this time than when you pulled up when you first came to do an interview with just me. You were with another individual, and I don't know if I give off that energy to anyone that like, yo, Ak is going to be like, whatever. But like, you obviously weren't lacking or you weren't whatever, but like you were, it was less people. You didn't bring... You brought way more people this time. What was your thoughts going into the interview that you thought you needed to bring those people with you?
First of all, you got to understand something, right? Like I said, when you listen to the conversation that I leaked, this dude basically blackmailed and extorted everybody. He was squeezing. He was extorting everybody from his own words.
Wait, hold on. So I'm glad you mentioned that. So this is what a lot of people from Cali, and by the way, I've talked to Wack about this too. This squeeze word, apparently California dudes, when they use the word squeeze, it doesn't necessarily means extort. Usually, this is what they've told me, and you can react to it. They said, yo, we use squeeze to basically use, okay, hey, you do this, then I could do this. That's not extortion. That's like, hey, listen, yo, put him on your platform because I'm going to do this for you. That's like a favor for a favor type of thing. You know what I mean? And it's like, how do you get somebody to do something they might not want to do? Hey, I'm going to give you another favor, so I'm squeezing you on this because I don't know. Again, I'm just trying to be fair.
Let me tell you something, right?
Go ahead.
When you listen to this nigga talking about how he blackmailed De La Hoya, how he blackmailed him, squeezed him. He used the same word. When he talk about how he set him up.
What's the De La Hoya thing? I didn't hear that audio.
Yeah, where he said, like, when we talk about how he set him up, when he talked about how he had the footage over Nipsey, like, he's not sitting up there talking nice. The nigga is the foulest, like, everybody that he speak about. Did you hear about what he said about Big U?
All right, hold on. The Big U thing, we're going to get into in a second. I'm going to be honest, and this is me being 100% honest. I've been on the phone call with Wack. Wack told me the same thing about Nipsey. Now, again, obviously I didn't record it, but what he told me is that, hey, listen, there's some footage that exists of some very interesting stuff happening with Nipsey, right? And he said, yo, people think I hate him, but I'm protecting that from coming out. I don't like, again, maybe you're reading between the lines, but I didn't look at that like he has the footage or he's threatening or he's getting paid to not release it. And I think that's what, because the Nipsey name is attached to it. And by the way, obviously, because I heard that conversation in a private setting, and now I can reveal it because, it's already out. But like, I heard that in a private setting, I would never, ever say, repeat it. Did you feel like you were kind of like breaking, like, I don't know, some real nigga oath or at least like, confidentiality, just by even putting that conversation out?
What I feel like Nipsey is crying out through the grave. You ain't here. See, you got to understand something, right? You didn't hear, I still got more. And when you listen to Wack in his own words, you'll understand that he's the most filthiest nigga on this earth. And see, that Thursday, when I went into his clubhouse, he muted me and talked sarcastic. And I'm like, yo, he ain't never had this energy. Me and Wack talk on the phone. Like, yeah, nigga, he muted me, blocked me out of his clubhouse, and said, I'll see you Friday. So I said, that's real funny. If you remember, I got the footage. The first thing I said to him when I walked in, I pressed him. I asked him, I said, yo, Wack, why you muted me out of that clubhouse? He played stupid, like, I didn't do that. I said, yes, you did. You spoke directly to me and said, nigga, I see you Friday. And he played dumb. So that right there let me know that his intentions wasn't right. So I already felt some type of way about, like, understand something. Him and Big U is the most creepiest, foulest niggas on this earth.
Wait, why you say that?
Why I said that, listen to the audio. Do you understand, Act? Do you understand right now that everybody in Cali is saying that he cannot step foot in certain neighborhoods? It is, yo, everybody's predicting. I even got a phone call saying TMZ, which I didn't offer. Somebody tried to play a middleman. I wasn't trying to sell it. TMZ said we don't even want it because they said in 3 months somebody gonna be dead because of that footage.
Really?
In 3 months somebody gonna be dead is what TMZ just said.
Wait, hold on. All right, let's just imagine that's true. Don't you kind of feel like a little guilt? Because put it like this, you see, now people are questioning Nipsey's sexuality. And for better or for worse, even with Wax saying whatever, he said it to you privately, but now it's public. And now, you know, even if people want to believe it or not believe it, it's now a thing that's staining his legacy because you released that tape.
Well, you know, it's like this, right? They were blackmailing Nip. No matter how you look at it, they was blackmailing him, and even through death, Wack is running around. He's dragging that man. He's a piece of yo. No, you see one thing people are not gonna do is flip the switch because I defeated him at his own game and make me look like I'm foul because I recorded the devil. Wack is a blackmailer. He is an extortionist. Them niggas is putting the pressure on. Like that shit he did to Gillie and Wallow was foul. All the way foul. Everybody that Wack
What do you
deal
mean? What
with,
do you mean? What do you mean the Gillie and Wallow? Like
why would he go on you on a podcast? Why would you tell the world? People like Gillie and respect him. Why would you tell millions of people that Gillie got punched in his face by Beanie and ran? Then I would have never did that to Gillie. I made videos about you in the past based off of the Chiraq stuff because I didn't even know who you was and how big you was until I started finding out about King Von and FBG Duck and looking at certain situations. Then I was like, oh, okay, Akademiks. I didn't know who you was. Then I seen Mice on trying to dish you. So that's when I learned who you was. But it was like, yo.
Hold on. I'm gonna be honest. You know what I've realized? I don't know. I think we have different perspective of this because like I look at that and like if you mention right, like if right now, right, say somebody like try to beat me up right while we're at the podcast, and if you mention it now, I don't know. I think I just you know, and this is respectfully. I think we just have different perspective because like me, I wouldn't care. Like you know what I mean. So I looked at because I was at that podcast when he mentioned the thing about Gillie. And I was looking at like, yo, I think Wack's just trying to get good content. But I ain't gonna lie, Gillie was a little upset. Gillie was, I've never seen Gillie like that before. And I guess to your perspective on it, maybe when you look at it like that, it's foul because that's not content. That's more like you're putting out something to disrespect somebody, right?
My whole thing, listen, my whole thing is like this, right? When he sat up there, he said out of his mouth, that's why Bam fucked you in the ass, which Bam never did. That never happened. But he violated me, nevertheless. When he said what he said out of his mouth, the gloves came off. There's no respect no more. You see what I'm saying? I would have never leaked those. I would have never let that audio out on him if he didn't disrespect me like that in my face. Like how he talking about he would have said it on me in that room. If he would have swung on me in that room, he would have died. Anybody that knows me knows if he would have swung, he would have died in that room. And that's the bottom line to that. Wack play all he wants to, but Wack, no. I got audio with Wack sitting up there saying, yo, I know you official. K Slay told me you official. That nigga talk bad about everybody behind their back. Wait till you hear oh, that's right. He got the lawyers coming at me right now because he don't want y'all to hear what he had to say about everybody else. WACK 100 is nobody's friend. The dude is the devil. And bottom line to it is, that shit that he was doing to Nipsey Hussle is going to cost him. He know that for now on, he better stay on the outskirts of town because somebody ain't gonna like what he did. That dude is foul. He telling everybody that Nipsey Hussle was actually an informant. He was a rat. Oh, wait for the rest of the audio. Nipsey was a rat. That's what he's trying to say. Nipsey was a rat.
And let me ask you a question because I talked to WACK about this, right? And WACK said this is where your information isn't correct or all the way correct. He said the alleged video of whatever sexual stuff was going on only came out after Nipsey died, so it's impossible anybody could have used that to try to blackmail or extort Nipsey because Nipsey was dead already.
Play his words, word for word, what he said. This is why everybody is disgusted and nobody's dealing with him. He's a manipulator. Play his words. Don't let him try to manipulate you. What he said was Nipsey was, first of all, it's the tapes. Then you got to understand, like he said, him and Big U was scheming on getting 30% of Nipsey Hussle's estate. The nigga said so much foul shit, you're leaving shit out. You can't justify all of that in that audio. It's over for WACK. As far as a podcast goes, ain't nobody going to sit down with WACK no more. His career's over with. Nobody's going to trust him after what he just did and what he said out of his own mouth. He can't clean that up. I would love to hear what Big U have to say when he hear how WACK 100 had me on a phone conversation on a three-way while he was, and then got off the phone. Like, matter of fact, the funny part about it is he called me back because when he got on the phone with Big U, after a while I hung the phone up.
Wait, he called Big U out. Hold on. By the way, Big U did kind of respond. He put up a message and he said, I'm in the month of Ramadan. I'm not dealing with COINTELPRO. And he says, can't save what don't need to be saved. And I don't know what that means. That seemed very ominous. I don't know.
Listen, the obvious is that until the day Nipsey died, them niggas was putting pressure on him. They made his life a living hell. And anybody that say they love Nipsey, that rock with Big U or WACK, is not loyal to Nipsey. They're not a real true Nipsey fan. Them dudes is foul. So he could sit up there and say, oh, Nipsey gave me an award. Man, Nipsey was scared to death of them dudes, man. Nipsey brother pulled a gun out on Big U. You don't do that to your friends. He backed out a gun out on him. Big U bragged about how he went to Nipsey studio and took the equipment out of the studio. Nipsey Hussle is dead. Shitty Cuz did not just kill Nipsey Hussle. That was a hit. Not only was it a hit, when you listen to the audio that I got, please, man, he already had, it was premeditated. After the dude hit, after he killed Nipsey Hussle, he went straight to the mental hospital because it was already planned.
Let me ask you a question. Do you believe that there was any part of the recorded conversation? Because I listened to some of the parts already, and it feels like WACK is buttering you up in terms of, like, you just meet somebody trying to get to, like, he's telling you certain shit to make you feel like, oh shit, you're the guy. You know what I mean? So he's like, yo, this was really going on. So you could kind of bite into that, and then you could trust him more. I'm not saying.
That's what made the nigga stupid. Where I come from, we call that snakes. What he did, he's a dangerous nigga. He's a filthy nigga. I don't trust. Like, bottom line to it is, see, you don't have a. I realize, Act, that you don't have a street brain, but if you pay attention to what's going on the internet, it's over for WACK. Everybody is the streets. Yo, that's why everybody calling me the heavyweight champ right now. Like, yeah, you brought the East Coast back. That's how everybody feels. Nobody is filming WACK. They're dragging him in Clubhouse. He can't justify them audios. Yo, my Patreon is on fire.
Yo, I think he said it was Big U that wanted that 30% stuff. He said he told Big U no. And by the way, go ahead.
At the end of the day, them dudes are greasy. Greasy. And it ain't no justifying the level of foulness. It's like, come on, man. It's like, how am I gonna come in your